I've walked through thousands of homes in my real estate career, and there are some ugly things that sellers need to remove before they put their house on the market. LA is a super expensive market. In fact, February of this year, the median sales price was $1,060,000, and buyers have a certain level of expectations for the properties that they purchase in this price point. So if you were thinking about selling your home, I have an updated seller's guide in the link down below. Just click on it. I'll email you over a free copy. And we're going to talk about all the ugly things that you should remove in your property before you put it on the market. All right, let's jump in. The first thing that I would say is wallpaper. Now, there are some modern wallpaper that have come out over the last couple of years that are really great and fresh and really cool. If you have that wallpaper, great. But if you have old, dated wallpaper, it's time to remove it. That trend really makes your home look very dated and very old, and buyers want new and fresh. So definitely remove some of the old, ugly wallpaper. Did you stencil your walls a few years back? Well, that trend is bye-bye. So I would definitely recommend doing a repaint. In fact, go through your entire property with a buyer's eye. Look for chipped paint, peeling paint, smudges on the wall. A fresh coat of paint can do wonders on a property to give it a new, fresh feeling. And please don't skimp out on cheap paint. Get good paint. And for the love of God, do not do semi-gloss paint. Absolutely not. It has to be eggshell or flat, but do not do semi-gloss. It just makes it look horrific. Sorry, I was having a moment there. Don't do semi-gloss. All right, let's talk about kitchens. Kitchens are one of the things that can help sell a property. If you have a kitchen that has really dated or really cheap granite, I would definitely recommend an upgrade. You can definitely tell the bottom grade type of granite that you get at Home Depot. It just makes a property look way cheaper than you would really want to. So make sure that you get a really good quality granite or quartz or even concrete. There are so many different options for countertops. Definitely spend a little extra money to get something unique, but not too crazy. I have seen some absolutely wild countertop colors. You want to be a little bit more reserved when you're doing granite or quartz. Make sure that you're appealing to a mass of people instead of that one buyer who likes pink granite. Let's talk about flooring for a minute. When I first started selling real estate, travertine was all the rage. I sold so many houses with travertine in it, especially the yellow and orange color, very Mediterranean looking. Well, that is no longer happening. And then the next trend was the gray floors. Well, gray is no longer happening either. So if you have those type of flooring, it definitely dates your property. I'm seeing a lot of more natural colors now. So like blonde oaks or white oaks, more oak type of colors that I'm seeing. So consider upgrading your flooring because those trends are past and these are now the new trends. All right, let's talk about lighting. Now, I can spot a Home Depot fixture from a mile away, and lighting is a really easy and great way to make a space feel much more modern. It's worth it to spend a little extra money on a really good light fixture, and there are some great knockoffs that look modern but don't have the restoration hardware sales price. So check those out, but make sure that you are always looking at those modern fixtures or light fixtures that are not cheap and chintzy like a lot of Home Depot light fixtures. Which brings me to holiday decor. So if you are selling your home during any major holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or 4th of July, or if you decorate for Easter or the fall for Halloween, you want to make sure that your listing photos do not have holiday decorations, because if your home doesn't sell over the holidays and it's in February and your home is still on the market, but you have listing photos with a Christmas tree in it, it just makes it look really dated. And they're like, well, why has this home been on the market for 2 or 3 months? What's wrong with it? That's the first thing that they're going to think. So anytime that you're doing photos, you want to have a neutral decor on your listing photos. That's going to be really, really important so it doesn't date it for a specific time period. Okay, let's talk about living rooms. Now, living rooms are where most people spend a lot of their time in their house. You want to make sure that the property is not packed full of lots of furniture. Oversized lazy boy chairs that tend to be a little ugly, or recliners. You want to get rid of those. You want to make sure that the furniture that you have is modern. If you are not a designer, that is okay. I'm not a designer either. I would actually hire a designer and make sure the house is cohesive, or hire a stager. I have some great stagers that can really make a property feel very cohesive and lived in, but general enough that people can see themselves in their property. Which brings me to my next point. If you have a ton of personal memorabilia or collections or photos throughout your entire property, that is great to have those things. And it's lovely to look at when you're living in your property. But when you're going to sell your property, you need to change the way that you live just for the time that you're selling it. If you have a collection of cars or dolls or spoons, it's time to pack those and put them away and put them in the pre-packing section of your house, either a garage or get a storage unit, and put those away for when you move. Nobody cares about your Beanie Baby collection. Sorry. And this is another pet peeve that I have that drives me bonkers. When you go into a property and there's no closet doors. I don't understand that. Like the whole cloth thing or the beads in front of a closet, I think it's super ridiculous. Put a closet door on there. Nobody wants to see their closet. So just put the closet doors back or buy new ones, because everyone's going to ask, where are the closet doors? I promise. It happens all the time. All right, let's talk about window treatments. Now, I personally hate vertical blinds. I think they're dated. I think they're ugly. I just don't like them at all. I think it's much better if you have curtains that are more modern, a nice modern curtain rod. I think those are much prettier than those vertical blinds. And now you have curtains and blinds that are connected to Alexa, so they automatically go up and down at their specific time. I think those are a great feature to have with your window treatments. Let's talk about smells for a minute. Now, smelling is one of the strongest senses because it goes right to the frontal cortex of your brain. And I've walked into so many properties that either reek of cat pee, dogs, smokers, marijuana, garlic, fish, you name it. I've smelled so many different things when I've walked into a property. It is really important to neutralize all of those smells. If you are a smoker, smoke outside your property and make sure that you repaint and do an ozone bomb inside your property to get rid of that smoker smell, because that is going to make a huge difference in terms of your price that you're going to get for your property. It is really, really hard to sell a property that has a lot of smoker or cat pee or dogs. So you want to make sure that you neutralize those smells as much as possible. And the last thing that I would say is don't skimp out on curb appeal. Curb appeal is so important. It's the first impression that a buyer gets when they walk up to a property. So replace some of those dead flowers, cut away dead branches. If you have a dry, dead patch of grass, make sure your landscaper can fix it or re-landscape altogether. Landscaping is one of the cheapest ways to improve your home's value because it's relatively cheap compared to remodeling a house or adding an addition. So don't skimp out on landscaping because it is the first impression that you get when a buyer comes up to a property. Now, if you are thinking about selling your property, as I said before, I have updated my seller's guide for 2025. It's in the link in my description. So just click on that and I'll email you over a free copy of that. Or you can give me a call at 213-268-6832. I can stop by your property and give you my professional opinion on what needs to go because it's ugly. Again, my name is Felipe Crook with eXp Realty, investing in your dreams.